What's up, everyone? I'm Gary Alexander for Fighters Only TV, and today we're here with Stitch. Stitch, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How you guys doing? Fighters Only TV.
And we're here today at Wanderlei Silva's gym in Las Vegas, and we're going to be addressing something today, Stitch, that is kind of the talk of the industry right now. The situation with BJ Penn and GSP with the Vaseline incident in GSP's corner. Obviously, you are the man when it comes to something like that. Well, let's talk a little bit about the rules beforehand. Tell me a little bit about that.
The rules as they were, there was no Vaseline in the dressing room. No fighter was supposed to apply any Vaseline on the dressing room. Once they come in towards the octagon, then we as the cutmen apply Vaseline on the areas that are going to be prone to cuts, which is the eyebrows and the cheeks. The referee would check them out, and then they go into the octagon. In between rounds, the corner was authorized at that point to go ahead and use Vaseline in the same areas, just to eliminate some of the damages.
We're going to demonstrate this for you guys today, kind of show a little bit about what is left over on the cutman's hand from the leftover Vaseline, I should say, after you have applied it to the face of a fighter.
Yeah, and this is something that you and I kind of, we sat down and we talked about it, and, me as a cutman, I work in the trenches and I know what goes on, and, you had the insight to say, let's take it a little bit further and let's give the listeners something of a substance and what happens, and not to say that what happened was George St. Pierre was intentional or anything. That's not what we're here for. We're here to improve the game. As a game, we have to tweak it here and there, and there was a problem that happened, and actually, personally, I think it's growing a lot bigger than the actual problem itself. But we're here to kind of put a remedy to that. Last Saturday at the fights in Tampa, the UFC Fight Nights, Burt Watson, our coordinator, and the cutmen got together, and we kind of implemented a technique that I think is going to work from now on until something else happens. But what it used to be is before, no Vaseline in the dressing room. We would apply it once the fighters get in. Well, that still changes, but a lot of times when the fighters would come in, we would apply the Vaseline on the areas that are mentioned. The referee would check them, and then they'd go out there and they'd give their hugs and their goodbyes and their good lucks to the fighters, and not to say that anybody slipped anything in there, but we eliminated that. So now as it goes, they'll say their goodbyes or good lucks, whatever they do, before they come to me, the cutman. I'll apply the Vaseline as I always do. The referee checks them, sends them into the octagon. In between rounds, there's no more Vaseline that the corner is going to be able to use. If the fighter gets cut or if he's receiving some damage where he's going to need the attention of a cutman, we are going to be the only ones that are going to be able to apply the Vaseline on the fighters. And, it's a simple solution for a problem that really kind of blew out of proportion.
This video and this reenactment, so to speak, if you will, is not an accusation of guilt on someone's part or an accusation of cheating or anything like that. This is actually to educate and to show why the rules will be changing.
Yeah, you put it as simple as it could be done.
Who knows if it would have changed the outcome of the fight? We don't know that. We don't know if it was done intentionally. I don't see any professionals doing anything like that intentionally. But unfortunately, it was a pretty big mistake. It was an unfortunate mistake, and it could have given an unfortunate an unintentional advantage to one fighter. So we need to address that and just educate the fans a little bit to show them why the rules are changing.
Yeah, well, and really, Gary, you brought up a good point. At the end of the day, it does give that fighter a disadvantage or an advantage over the other fighter, and that's what we're trying to eliminate. If somebody's going to win a fight, they're going to do it because they're better than the other guy.
Yeah,
simple.
And they're putting their lives on the line out there.
Yeah, well, and it's a sport, and they're all gentlemen, and like I say, it's an educational process for all of us. The game has really evolved to the point where we've got the greatest athletes in the world, and we got to protect them, but also we have to also make it a fair fight. And that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. So it's Cutman 101 here today, ladies and gentlemen, on Fighters Only TV.
All right. And here's what's left. You rub that into somebody's shoulders, somebody's back, it's going to give that fighter a fairly big advantage. So hopefully we'll eliminate that.